Everybody. Today I'm going to talk about Global South and India as a leader of Global South. So before understanding that is India the leader of the Global South or not, let us understand what Global South exactly is. So Global South is kind of groups of nations which are either developing or are underdeveloped. So an imaginary line has been drawn between the developed and the developing nations. The line is Van Dyck line, and from that we can make out that yes, these are the developed nations or these are the developing nations. Now let us look as why we are saying that yes, India is a leader of the global south, or is India in the process of becoming the leader of the global south. So India has always been vocal about the causes of the global souths. We have always talked about its representations in any of the forums, the international forums. Recently India has championed the cause of global south by in the G20 meetings, wherein we talked about the inclusion of the global South nations, and we not just talked about it, but we also proved it by the inclusion of African Union into G20. Then recently, India conducted the Voice of Global South Summit, wherein we leaded the summit, and there also we were vocal about the issues of global South. So this is how India is acting as a leader. Wherever we are getting opportunity, we are representing global South. In the past, if we look at the initiatives taken by India to help global South nations, then it includes number one is that during the time of COVID-19, India was the first to provide with medical assistance to these global south nations. We came with UN portal where an easy and free vaccination facility was given to these nations. When most of the developed nations denied their access to vaccine access, India was the one who came up with the initiative of UN portal. Then secondly, we are always vocal about the representations of the global south nations in international forums like UNSC or IMF, World Bank. These institutions were made for the development of global south nations or for the development of the poor nations. But what we really see is that the interests has been diverted to the for the benefit of the global north nations. So India is always talking about the reforms in these institutions and representation and inclusivity of global south nations into the forum. Then whenever in times of crisis, we are the one who provide them the assistance, humanitarian assistance or aid. Whenever it is like natural disasters happens to these global south nations, we don't act as a donor or a big brother. We act as a friend in need and friend indeed theory. So when we talk about the international forums, India has always adopted the five principles of Samman, Santi, Sahyog, Samriddhi, and Samvad. So by using these principles, we have championed the cause of global South nations. Even in the climate agreements, we know that global South are the one who suffers the wrath which has been created by the global North nations. So we are vocal about the loss and damage fund, nationally determined contributions, or even in the COP29 meetings, we talked about the benefits should be given to the global South nations for technology transfer and aid to the global South nations. So we are always vocal about it, and we have always helped these nations, and we have acted as a friend indeed at all times. So this is how India has helped these global South nations, and we can say that yes, India is emerging as a global leader of these global South nations. And although we have helped and we are helping, but problems do exist, because India itself has to look into its internal problems first, then only we can provide assistance to other nations. Secondly, the influence of China in the region, we can see the dominance of China is increasing in the regions, so we need to cater into this problem too. And lastly, we need to bridge the gap between the global south and global north nations with the help of technology transfer, with the help of aid in services, whatever, however we can do it, we need to do that. And this is all about global south nations. Thank you.